Hey y'all. I was going to say welcome back to my YouTube channel, but I guess I should be welcoming myself back to my YouTube channel because I have not been here. But I'm back. Right now, I am going to do bit of a speculation video on the competitiveness of Sirfetch'd. Sirfetch'd will be a Pokemon Sword exclusive. In this video, I want to talk about what it could be like competitively and also maybe speculate on what Pokemon I would like to see as its partner Pokemon in the Shield version. First off, Sirfetch'd looks awesome. I love all the designs that they're coming out with these new games. I loved the Weezing. Sirfetch'd looks awesome. I think there's just a lot of character and personality in a lot of the new Pokemon, which carries over from Gen 7, which I think had a lot of other cool character and personality Pokemon. You'll see its ability is Steadfast, pure fighting type. So going from flying normal to fighting type. And yeah, it's going to get this new signature move, Meteor Assault, which just like Hyper Beam and any of those other big moves, it won't be able to move next turn. I loved if this is Meteor Assault, I loved the animation on it. It was kind of cool how they made it collide with the other Pokemon and most of the Pokemon moves. You have one Pokemon over here, another Pokemon over here. There's some sort of like beam or something that goes and hits the other one, and that's it. But I like with this one and some of the Z moves and signature moves of the last generation, they put some effort into animating some sort of collision. So yeah, to the competitiveness of this Pokemon, I mean, we there's a lot of fighting Pokemon in the games. Hopefully, a lot of them transfer over to Gen 8. But I think that there's potential for Sirfetch'd to I don't know, find carve a niche. I don't know if it'll be OU, but let's look into it. I guess I would say shout out to Fufu. Check out his video series called Overlooked Pokemon Buffs. It was actually this video that made me speculate that maybe Farfetch'd was going to get a evolution coming soon because in from Gen 6 to Gen 7, there are all of these weird, as Fufu calls them, overlooked buffs that happened, Farfetch'd being one of them. Farfetch'd went from a base attack stat of 67 through all the generations, all leading up to Sun and Moon. And then Sun and Moon, the only thing that changed on its stat line was that it got a lot more attack. So this to me feels like it was kind of ramping up into um, making its evolution cool in Gen 8. It also got access to First Impression. The only other Pokemon that gets First Impression is Golisopod. And that also seems a little out of nowhere, but coming into Gen 8, that seems pretty cool now. So yeah, looking at its base HP at level 60, it gets to 144. So if I take Farfetch'd and I drop it down to level 60, um, and put 0 IVs and EVs, it hits 132. If you just add 10 base HP at level 60, you'll hit 144. So my guess is its base HP is going to go up by 10. Seems pretty common. And hopefully its attack stat rises as well. Farfetch'd has this unique item where critical hits raise its critical hit ratio raises. Hopefully, its attack buffs enough that it won't need its own item. You could run it Assault Vest, you could run it Choice Band, and you'll get a cool Pokemon with it. So some things about Farfetch'd move pool that I think might make it stand out from other fighting types. Well, Sirfetch'd move pool um, is so it gets physical move Leaf Blade, and I don't know if there are other fighting types that get Leaf Blade. Okay. Gallade and Virizion are the only other two fighting types that get Leaf Blade. It also gets Poison Jab. It gets Brave Bird, so being a fighting type with Brave Bird would also be some decent coverage. Gets Swords Dance. Gets Baton Pass, so you might see that in VGC or the Pokemon, like the Wi-Fi formats. Um, yeah, so there's gets knockoff. So there, I think that there will be some potential. First impression being a priority bug type move can counter psychic types that usually come in on fighting types. We also get leaf blades for bulky waters, poison jab for fairy types. So with swords dance, this could be hopefully a decent wall breaker. It also gets access to U-turn, so it could hopefully run a choice band set. And as of right now, Farfetch doesn't really have physical fighting coverage. So hopefully Sirfetch'd gets something like close combat, superpower, um, any of those other typical fighting moves that you would expect out of a fighting type. Um, and hopefully it's just not its signature move, because that would suck to have just a fighting move that has to have like a turn to recharge. Um, but given the fact that Farfetch'd will be a physical Pokemon, has access to Swords Dance, has just enough coverage moves in really these three plus first impression. Hopefully, it carves itself a lane in the new generation. One other thing that I wanted to talk about was speculating which um, Pokemon Shield version partner would be with Farfetch'd. And two examples that came to mind, one of them being Mag Cargo. And I know it doesn't really look very British or anything like that, but it did get some buffs. It went from 50 HP to 60 HP. Its special attack raised. Um, and it also got I think that anyway, I'm pretty sure Fufu did a video on it. Yeah. So watch his video on the three overlooked Mag Cargo buffs. But because it got the kind of the creepy or subtle stat changes, it could be a potential shield Pokemon. It's also a defensive Pokemon. Pokemon Sword could have an offensive Pokemon. Pokemon Shield could have a defensive Pokemon. And it's also prefers the special attack side. Um, so that could be a reason why maybe Magcargo is the shield alternative. I would say the other one, this is maybe lore based, is Corsola. Now it also did get some of those stat buffs. It actually got to each of its defensive stats, it got plus 10. So HP, defense, and special defense all got buffed going from Gen 6 to Gen 7. And I think another weird thing about Corsola that was introduced into Gen 7 was this lore that it had with the Toxapex line, where in order to get it, you had to lure in a Corsola and it had to call for help. And then also just how the Pokedex entries reference each other. We've already seen Toxapex in um, some gameplay for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So with Toxapex being in the game, it might imply that Corsola is also in the game, and maybe also you could see it be a Pokemon that gets an evolution. I don't know with it being Water Rock if they would change the typing, because we also have Dreadnought, which is a new Pokemon. Now that's more of an offensive threat, but it might seem weird having um, a new version exclusive being a Pokemon that shares typing with a new Pokemon. But Corsola would also fit that bill of being a defensive Pokemon, possibly more special attack Pokemon. It does get access to Calm Mind and Recover. And so those are my two guesses. I would say if I had to pick one, I would say it's my speculation would be Corsola. My second guess would be Mencargo. But I really want to know what your guys's are. What do you think about the new Pokemon? And maybe drop in the comment section what you would hope for or what you would guess would be the Shield version. Is it Dunsparce? A lot of people would love that. My personal number one would be Corsola. So, peace.